The word came like a weight placed gently in Jonah's hands. Go to Nineveh, that wide, violent city, and speak what I give you to say. He felt the weight and set it down. At Joppa's docks, he bought passage west toward the edge of maps, where nobody knew his name. The ship creaked into open water. Tar smelled sweet. Gulls vanished behind them. Jonah went below and slept as if sleep could outpace a summons. Night split open. A wind with teeth struck the hull. Ropes sang. Barrels rolled like dice. Sailors flung cargo overboard and cried to their gods, but the sea climbed higher. Someone found Jonah snoring in the hold and dragged him up. Pray, they shouted. He tasted the salt of his own avoidance and asked for lots to be cast. The tokens pointed to him. He looked at the men who had done him no wrong. Throw me into the sea, he said quietly, and it will calm. They rowed hard instead, not wanting blood on their hands, but the water shoved them back. With a last prayer for mercy, they let him go. Down he went through green-black water. The storm folded like a fist unclenching. In the hush that followed, a great fish rose and took him into its dark, ribbed chamber. There, between heave and heartbeat, Jonah prayed. No bargaining now, only truth. I fled, the flood closed over me, and yet you heard me. If I am brought up again, I will do what I vowed. On the third day, the fish surged toward shore and spat him onto sand. Nineveh's gates were taller than he had imagined, its markets loud as surf. He walked a day and called out the same spare line again and again, a thread thrown across a city. In 40 days, Nineveh will be overturned. People stopped. Word climbed palace steps. The king stepped down from his throne, traded his robe for rough cloth, and told the city to fast, to turn from harm, to hope for a stay of judgment. Cattle lowed in empty stalls, children blinked at bowls taken from their hands. The change took root like rain in dry earth. The ruin did not come. Jonah climbed a hill east of town and built a small lean-to. He set his jaw toward the skyline, as if staring could will the sky to break. A vine climbed his shelter overnight, leaves broad as hands, and a cool shadow lay over his anger. He was glad for the plant, gladness as thin and green as the stem itself. At dawn, a worm found the root. By noon, the vine hung like a wet rope, and an east wind scoured the hill. Heat pressed Jonah to the dust, and he asked to be done with the day, with his task, with himself. Then the lesson came, not as thunder, but as a question placed where the first had been. You pity a plant you did not grow, which lived one night and died the next. Should I not care for a great city full of people who cannot even find their right hand, plus all their animals? Jonah had no answer ready. He looked from the withered leaves to the roofs and alleys below. Bakers and blacksmiths, mothers shushing infants, boys skipping stones at the river's edge, oxen flicking flies with their tails. He had spoken the warning. They had changed. Now he was asked to change too. When he finally rose to leave the hill, the road to the coast was the same as before. Dust, scrub, a line of ants carrying what they could. But the weight in his hands had shifted. He had learned that a calling is not completed by delivering truth and waiting for doom. It is completed when the heart learns mercy, big enough to fit even enemies. You cannot outrun that kind of growth. The world is not large enough. Better to turn and walk into it while the wind is still cool.